Okay.
All right, and so thank you to everyone for joining us this afternoon. We appreciate your interest in our program. We look forward to giving you more information about it. At the end of this information session, we are going to allow time for questions. So any questions that you have throughout this session, you can add them to the Teams chat if you'd like. Otherwise, we will save some time at the end so that we can answer and address any questions that you may have. Next. The first thing that we want to do is go ahead and introduce faculty and staff. And so to start things off, I'm going to ask Dr. Amanda DePippo to introduce herself. Dr. DePippo, how are you?
Yes, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. DePippo, and I am the Associate Program Director for the on-campus Clinical Rehabilitation and Mental Health Counseling Program, as well as the online RCDS program. So thank you so much for joining us today and your interest in the program.
Thank you. And we also have Dr. Vicki Buckles on the call with us. Dr. Buckles, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. So I'm Dr. Vicki Buckles. I am an associate professor primarily in the Clinical Rehabilitation and Mental Health Counseling program, as well as the program director for the CRMHC and oversee RCDS program.
Thank you. And Dr. Leah Worthy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Leah Worthy. I am an assistant professor of instruction for the online rehab counseling program. And then I am also the online program's field placement coordinator. So I help coordinate all of your field placements and then also teach the field placement classes.
All right. And Tatiana Acosta.
Hello, my name is Tatiana Acosta. I'm the academic program specialist for the RCDS program, as well as the in-person clinical rehabilitation mental health counseling program. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you. And my name is Dr. Brandon Worthy, or Dr. Worthy, and I'm an assistant professor of instruction and the program coordinator for the RCDS program. And so once again, thank you all for joining us. If you have any questions outside of this meeting, feel free to reach out to me. My email is listed on the PowerPoint on this presentation, and as well as all of the other staff. So if you have any questions, we would be happy to address those or answer any of those questions for you. Also, throughout your tenure at the RCDS program, should you choose to apply and be admitted into the program, you will have an opportunity to meet various adjunct faculty. And so the adjunct faculty that we have for this fall include Dr. Nicholas Durzis, Christina Gonzalez, Nicole Cretaminos, and Sharon Weaver. And so those will be some names that you may see should you decide to apply for the spring cohort. All right, next slide. And so just to review the RCDS mission statement, the mission of the RCDS program is to improve the quality of life for people with disabilities and their families by educating graduate students with the essential skills, knowledge, and dispositions needed to become ethical, responsive, and culturally competent professionals working in the field of human services. Next slide. And so the RCDS program was born out of a 50-year established program, and its faculty is comprised of experts in the field who have been teaching online for years and have established connections to VR and disability communities nationwide. And the RCDS program is a fully online 60-credit master's degree. It is CACREP accredited and recognized as a center of excellence by the CRCC, or the Commission on Rehabilitation Counseling Certification. And so the credentialing opportunities that students have once they have completed this program is they have the opportunity to become a certified rehabilitation counselor or a licensed mental health counselor or licensed professional counselor, depending on the state and the requirements of your state. We do recommend that anybody pursuing this program check with their licensure requirements for their state to ensure that the program does meet those requirements. We will talk a little bit later about how you can become a licensed mental health counselor with this degree, but the program does focus on rehabilitation counseling. And so that is the primary focus of the RCDS program. And with that being said, we are training our counselors to become certified rehabilitation counselors. And you will notice that the plan of study with this program does differ once we get to that from other programs who have the focus for mental health counseling, and we will talk a little bit about that. But the RCDS program has a flexible format for working professionals and offers specialized training for those interested in working with individuals with disabilities, and provides an emphasis on advocacy for social justice and societal change.
All right. So as Dr. Brandon said, this program does prepare you to become a certified rehabilitation counselor. And to become a certified rehab counselor, you do need to take and pass the CRC exam. This exam is offered 3 times a year and it costs right now $420. So this credential certifies that you are a qualified rehab counselor, and it makes you more marketable to employers, as well as enhances the quality of services that you can provide to people with disabilities to ensure that you're an ethical counselor and are up to date on best practices in the field. So to take this exam, you can take it for the first time once you've completed 75% of your coursework in the program. This will either be in the July of your last semester if you start in the fall, or in October of your last semester if you start in the spring. So if you are accepted into the program, I provide a lot more detailed information about the exam and the process for registering for the exam. Also, during our internship class, we spend a good deal of time reviewing for the exam so that you are ready to take it by the time you're eligible. And you should be prepared for the exam between the information you learn in classes and then also in the reviews and internship. The RCDS program is also recognized as a CRC program of excellence, which means that all of our classes align with and teach the professional competencies that are recognized by the CRC. So when you graduate, you should be well prepared to complete the CRC exam and work as a rehab counselor. We can go to the next slide. So because this program is CACREP accredited, you are also eligible to earn your mental health counseling licensure. So while our focus is primarily on training rehab counselors, we also teach the skills and competencies needed to be a mental health counselor. The mental health licensure requirements are different in each state, and it varies based on how many supervised hours you need and any continuing education, potentially additional classes. So if you are in another state other than Florida, we recommend that you look at your state's licensure requirement to get more detailed information on the licensure process and requirements, since it does vary state to state. And later on in this presentation, when we talk about internship and field placement, we'll talk more about how the program prepares you specifically to work as a CRC and a mental health counselor.
Okay, so just to give you some ideas of the outlooks of mental health and rehabilitation counseling as a profession, both professions are growing, and there are plenty of opportunities and experience out there. You can kind of see what the median starting pay is, but with additional credentials and training and time in the field, that can of course go up as we're looking at, this is specifically for mental health counseling. And on the next slide, you'll see the information for rehabilitation counseling. But the real take-home message of this is a degree that allows you to enter a field that is in demand and that there are a number of jobs, and generally our students are employed in the field either at graduation or shortly after graduation within the field. Can you go ahead and put the rehab counseling information up there, Tatiana? Thank you. So this kind of gives you the idea of the growing in rehabilitation counseling and kind of the pay range in what we're looking at for rehabilitation counselors as well.
Thank you. And so on your screen now, you'll see a plan of study for a full-time plan of study. And so the typical full-time plan of study takes 2 years to complete. That being said, if you choose to also seek licensure as a mental health counselor, there is an additional internship that is required, and Dr. Leah Worthy will discuss that shortly when she talks about the field placement. But a full-time plan of study, the way that it is designed, you'll notice on the full-time plan of study, you'll see Spring A, Spring B, and Spring 16 weeks. For instance, the first semester that's on the plan of study, you'll take legal, ethical issues and professional standards, individual evaluation and assessment, and counseling skills and techniques. And so ethics is a Spring A course, which means it is 8 weeks. And individual evaluation is a Spring B course, which means it is 8 weeks. The counseling skills and techniques is a 16-week course, but the way that the plan is designed, you'll only have 2 courses during any part of your semester. So the first half of your semester, you'll have legal and ethical issues and professional standards of counseling, along with counseling skills and techniques. The second half of the semester, you'll have individual evaluation and assessment, along with counseling skills and techniques. And so it's designed like that with with this design, what we were trying to do is make this a little more accessible to professionals who work full-time, and try to make this a little bit more achievable for those individuals. And so that's why we break it up the way that we do. The Summer A, Summer B are 6-week courses. So Summer A is 6 weeks, Summer B is 6 weeks, and then you'll notice that research and program evaluation is 12 weeks. It's set up the same way. Applications of assistive tech, the first 6 weeks, along with research and program eval. Human sexuality, the last 6 weeks, along with research and program eval. So you'll only have, again, 2 courses at one time during any part of the semester. And as you'll notice, for the fall 2027, and I won't go through every semester, but just for this first year, the fall 2027, you'll see 4 courses. There again, 2 the first half of the semester, 2 the second. And if you'll go to the next slide, Tatiana, please. Thank you. And that is the part-time plan of study. And so basically the part-time plan of study is half that. If you choose to go part-time, the first semester you'll have legal and ethical issues and professional standards of counseling, along with counseling skills and techniques. And the part-time plan of study allows for you to have 2 courses per semester. And so should you have any questions about the plan of studies after this information session, anything like that, reach out to me. I'm happy to go review this with you, or answer any questions once again for that. We also offer non-degree courses to non-degree seeking students. And those courses are for students who have a master's degree and are seeking either a CRC or other professional development or licensure. And those courses are available, and there is a preference to individuals who have received a board letter that's describing the deficits that need to be addressed prior to licensure. So if you have any questions about seeking courses as a non-degree seeking student, once again, reach out to us. We're happy to help. And we have updated that process on our website and updated that application. So it was just updated this semester, so if you run into any snags or anything, let us know. We'll be happy to help with that as well.
Right. Before we talk about field placement, I do want to mention something about the plans of studies. All of our courses are typically self-paced, meaning you will log on you'll have something due each week, typically on Sundays. And so you can work on those at your own pace as long as you're turning things in by the due dates. There are 5 classes that will meet in person via Teams. That is the counseling skills and techniques class, group theories, practicum, and internship. And then counseling theories meets one time. The rest of the classes meet for either the full 8 or 12 or 8 or 16 weeks, depending on which semester they're in. Those classes that meet via Teams will meet. There's always going to be a section offered on Wednesdays from 6 p.m. Eastern to 8:45 p.m. Eastern, depending on size of classes. If we offer a second section, it'll typically either be on the weekends or, again, after work hours Eastern time, so that, again, working professionals have time to either log off of work or get home, depending on which time zone you're in. So we do try to make sure that classes work with working professionals as well. All right, Tatiana, we can go to the next one. So field placement experiences consist of 2 main experiences, which are your practicum, where you get 100 hours of field experience, and then your internship, where you get 600 hours of field experience. So by the time you leave the program, you have a total of 700 hours working in the field. These field experiences are great places for you to apply everything you've learned in class and get some hands-on experience working with your selected population or in the setting that you want to work in long term. With internship being 600 hours, it is basically a full-time job. It's over a 16-week semester, so you need to get 40 hours per week to fulfill that 600-hour requirement. With the program, we work with you to identify placements. You have access to all of our pre-approved sites, and we can also approve additional sites if there's a site that you are interested in working at. But ultimately, it is up to our students to secure their sites. So they are responsible for contacting potential agencies, sending them application materials, and then engaging in whatever interview and onboarding process that the sites have. But we do work with the students to make sure that the sites align with their career interests and their goals, and that it also meets the requirements for K-CREP and then supervision, and that you also are getting direct contact hours with clients, as that is a portion of your hour requirement, is working directly with clients. So with internship, because this program is rehab counseling focused, your first internship will need to be at a vocational rehab setting. This can be state VR, private VR, vocational evaluation sites, or any other sites where you are performing the job duties of a rehabilitation counselor. This internship is going to fulfill the internship requirements established by K-CREP and also the CRC board that is needed to verify you when you apply for the CRC exam. So this program uses the CRC exam as our comprehensive exam for the program. So every student needs to sit for their CRC exam as a requirement for graduation. However, like we talked about earlier, since our program meets requirements for you to become either an LMHC or an LPC, depending on your state, both of those boards also require verification of a 600-hour internship in a mental health setting. So students interested in also earning their mental health license need to complete a second internship at a mental health setting. So internship is a 6-credit-hour class. If you choose to earn your CRC and your mental health license, we split this up and you'll take 3 credit hours of internship in a VR setting, and then you'll take the second 3 credit hours of internship in a mental health setting. So this doesn't add any additional credit hours or cost to your tuition. So you still complete 60 credit hours either way. The only thing that it adds is it adds 1 extra semester to your plan of study. But it helps us fulfill the requirements for both the CRC board and the mental health board. But if you are currently working in a rehab agency or a mental health agency, you can use your current job as a field placement site. It's always a bonus if you can get paid for field experience and then get your class credits. So with that is the situation that you are in, I will work with your site supervisor to ensure that you're being given additional responsibilities to challenge you in your position, and then also apply the rehabilitation counseling skills and knowledge and make sure you are fulfilling the duties as a rehab counselor. But if you aren't currently working in the field, you can either meet with me or your advisor, and we'll help you walk through how to select a placement and make sure that everything aligns with what's needed for the program. During our field placement classes and other clinical classes like the counseling skills and techniques class, you will be using a software called Supervision Assist. This is where we track your internship hours, where we complete all field placement paperwork. The software also has recording capability and is HIPAA compliant. So throughout the program, you'll have assignments where you have to complete role plays. In practicum, you have to record sessions with clients if your site allows it. And you can do that directly in Supervision Assist, and then we can go in as your faculty and provide you with feedback directly on your video with timestamps of where our feedback is. And so we do use Supervision Assist in practicum. In practicum, you have to submit 3 10-minute audio recordings with the client that is played in class. Everyone in the class, your peers, will give you feedback. I give you feedback as well. And we look to see where your strengths are and then any additional growing edges and a chance for you to implement some feedback on your counseling skills. And so we do use Supervision Assist to record those since it is HIPAA compliant. And as we talked about earlier, I am the field placement coordinator. So if you have questions about practicum, internship, any potential sites, please feel free to reach out to me with any questions.
All right, so a little bit about program cost, and I see there's a question in the chat about RSA grants. We do not have any available RSA scholarships at this time. Should there be an opportunity for us to apply for a grant, we will do that. And if we are awarded, we will notify all students in the program of that upon the time of being awarded for that, so that it's offered to everyone. But the program cost is, due to the structure of the program, there is no difference between in-state or out-of-state tuition. We have a flat rate, and the flat rate is $600 per credit hour. And so it is a 60 credit hour program. 60 credit hours times 600 is $36,000, and that's for the tuition for the hours that's needed for the program. Outside of that, there is the additional $250 for supervision assist that Dr. Leah Worthy just discussed. In addition to that, there is also a grad student fee that is added each semester. The current fee is $36.48. So if you were full-time, for instance, for the spring semester, you would have nine credit hours. And so you would do that plus the $36.48 plus the $250 for supervision assist in the first semester would cost you $5,686.48, considering the grad fee doesn't change between now and then. And I will say, over the past couple of years that I've been here, it has changed a little bit. I think it's went up about $1.50 over the past couple of years that I've noticed. So it is subject to change. The supervision assist is a one-time fee, so you'll have that throughout the program for the cost of that $250. So that will not be included each semester. That'll just be your first semester. There is financial aid opportunities available through the university, and you can find that on the university's financial aid website. We do not offer the tuition, we do not accept the tuition waiver program that many state employees have available, but we do accept state tuition reimbursement programs. So if you'd like more information on that, please reach out and let us know. Typically, what we see with state tuition reimbursement programs is that our students attend part-time, and that their tuition reimbursement program reimburses 2 classes per semester. So like I say, if you have any additional questions about that, please let us know. The rough cost of the program is $36,250 plus each semester's student fees, grad student fees. So somewhere south of $37,000, between 36 and 37,000 would be a really close estimate there. All right. I believe that's everything on the program costs. Next slide.
All right. So we do hope some of you would like to apply right now after hearing about the program. And so we wanted to talk to you guys about the application process. Our application process is pretty straightforward. If you click on the application portal that is included in this slide, it'll take you straight to the university's application portal, but you can also find it if you go onto our website, there's an Apply Now tab. That'll take you to the portal as well. But in this portal, you fill out basic demographic information, and then you will be prompted to submit your application materials. So what we need you to submit is a statement of purpose. So tell us why you're applying, why you want to work in the field, and why you think you would be a good fit with our program. We also need a copy of your resume or your CV, and also 3 letters of recommendation. When you go to do your letters of recommendation, you put in your recommender's contact information, and they are automatically sent a link to provide that reference letter through the portal. So you don't actually have to get the letter from your recommenders. It's all done through the portal. If you are still in school in an undergrad program, or if you've recently graduated, we would like to see one of your recommendation letters coming from a professor. But if not, we are looking for recommenders to be work supervisors, someone in a leadership role who has supervised you in some way, whether it's work or a volunteer experience. We also need a copy of your transcript. If you graduated from USF, we don't need you to send us an official transcript because we do have access to a copy of it. But if you graduated from any other school, we do need an official transcript to be included in your application materials. We also need GRE scores. So with this, if you do have any field experience working with people with disabilities, whether it's through a rehab agency or organization, you have any educational or personal experience working with people with disabilities, any volunteer experiences, you can reach out to us at the program email, which will be listed, I believe, on the next page, and we can see if you're eligible for a GRE waiver. With that, there is a form you have to fill out. We get a copy of your resume, and then if you are approved, you don't have to take the GRE. So that also saves you some money and time with not having to take the GRE if you do have any personal or professional experience working with people with disabilities. We also do run a background check since you're working with clients who are in vulnerable populations during the program, and a lot of our sites require background checks. We do have a background check verification form that we have you complete as part of our application process. Then once all applications are submitted and reviewed, we conduct virtual interviews via Teams to get to know more about you and more about your career goals and how you fit into the program. So once you submit all of your applications in the online portal and the materials are reviewed, if you are selected to move to the next phase of the application, Dr. Brandenworthy will reach out to you via email to schedule that Teams meeting with you. And like I said earlier, these interviews are a chance for us to get to know you better, learn more about your experience and how you fit in with the program. So once you submit materials, and there's also an application fee that the university collects, you should get confirmation from the portal that your application has been submitted. Sometimes this confirmation does go to spam, so make sure you check there if you didn't receive it, so that you can confirm everything received. But you can also go into the portal and see if we've reviewed the materials and if your recommenders have submitted their letters. You can also reach out to any of us or the program email if you want to confirm that we have received your materials. So for the spring entry into this program, our priority deadline will be September 11th. The last day to submit applications is October 15th. It is a competitive program, and we do limit seats to about 12 students per cohort. So we do look at that priority deadline and try to fill as many seats as we can through the priority. So please, if you're interested, try to submit by the September 11th deadline so that you can get an interview and more seats open for your opportunity for the spring cohort. And the program email is listed here on this slide. It is the cbcs-rcds@usf.edu if you have questions. But like I said, also you can reach out to either me or Dr. Brandon Worthy if you have any specific questions. And then this slide, you can either scan the QR code, or I believe this email has, or this presentation has been sent to everybody. This just takes you to our website if you need to learn any more about the program or any other information. Also on there takes you to a page where is all of our information, so you can get our emails on there as well, which were also listed at the second slide for this.
And we did have a question in the chat, and so I wanted to go ahead and read it out loud. And the question was, if I have a master's degree in the field already, would I be able to transfer my credits for use towards this master's degree? And the answer is credits that were not used toward that master's degree can be considered for transfer if they're less than 7 years old. Once they're older than 7 years, they can't be considered for transfer, or if they've been used to earn another degree. I hope that makes sense. If not, and you want to schedule a one-on-one meeting, we are happy to meet with you as well. And I put my contact in the chat. But we have time for questions. So if you have any questions at all that you would like to ask now, we do have time for that. If you would just raise your hand and we will call on you in the order that you raise your hand in. Tony Tan, how are you?
You're muted.
You're muted, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was not able to find the button. So I think I know some of you. I think I know Vicky. But anyway, my name is Tony, and I am a faculty member in the College of Education. So my experience has largely been research based. So I wanted to ask about that. I do work with individuals with disabilities, but much less so than research. Will that be an issue?
Are you trying to use it for field placement, your job for field placement? Oh,
For GRE.
no, any
Okay.
experience working with people with disabilities counts. So even if it's in a research setting, as long as you have worked directly with people with disabilities, that'll count for the application for the GRE waiver.
Absolutely.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. I'll wait for other people to ask other questions. I'll come back.
Well, as of now, we don't have any other questions. So if you want to,
Karen's raising her hand.
I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can.
Oh,
Yes.
excellent. I have two questions, please. My first question, I believe since the program is 2 years, that if I did this program at a part-time level, that would make it 4. Am I correct?
Correct.
Great. And the other question I have, as far as disabilities, because I've worked for many years with the senior population, it's funny how you become into that population so quickly, but I've worked with the senior population for a long time with, multiple areas of disability, Alzheimer's, or sometimes just hearing and things like that. Does that count?
It does.
It does. Okay, excellent,
does.
because that is really a focus for me. So that sounds great. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Yes, sir. Tony Tan.
Sorry, I do have another question. So I am a professor already, so I have earned my doctorate. And so I graduated a long time ago. So when I tried to obtain my transcript, I was having some difficulties because my undergrad was in a different country, and my graduate transcript, I have it. So and I worry that I may not even be able to, because it's a summertime in other universities where I came from. If I were to submit with my graduate school transcript, will I be able to be evaluated? I don't mind keep trying to obtain my undergrad transcript, but I might not be able to obtain it before the deadline.
Sure. We would still evaluate your application, and Dr. Buckles or Dr. DePippo may be able to provide a little more insight on this, but yeah, we if you have your most recent transcripts, we would evaluate those certainly.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I do have it. I'm about to submit my application because I finished all the components already. So my next question is, if I were to, let's just say, take the fall semester as a non-degree seeking, would that be okay?
You
Because
can.
I know, go ahead.
There's an application process for that as well, and so you would just go on our website and apply for that. And then we could schedule a one-on-one meeting to meet with you and discuss your goals in doing that too. And if it's just to try to determine whether or not this program's right for you and things like that, we could certainly find some classes that would or some courses that would be beneficial to you.
Sorry, I was not very clear. I was thinking that if I were to start the program, if I could start earlier this fall instead of this coming spring, I would prefer to start early because I'm ready to go. I love the program and I wanted to learn. So that's why I was asking. But anyway.
Okay, well if you would please send myself and send me an email and include Dr. Buckles on it as well. And we will discuss your situation and see if we can help you with that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Sarah.
Hi, I just wondered, as far as the field work is considered, I actually live in Pinellas County, and I know that your university is in Hillsborough. Do you also assist with, say, organizations that might be closer to me?
Yeah, we definitely do. Since you're local to the Tampa area, we have a lot of sites in Hillsborough, Pinellas, Manatee, all of those surrounding areas. But if there is a site, so we are able to draw from the in-person programs their list of sites as well. So we have a combined list between the two programs.
Yes.
So we have a lot of in this area, but if there's a site that you are interested in working in that isn't a pre-approved site, you would just get with me when you're admitted into the program, and I will look to make sure that the site will give you the experience to get the direct hours working with people with disabilities, and that also there's somebody on site that can supervise you as well, because there is a supervision requirement. But being local to Tampa does open up a lot more pre-approved sites.
Great.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Sarah, I believe you have a question as well. You are muted. Yeah. Okay.
Hi. Sorry.
You're good.
I have a question regarding the field work. I came in a little late, so I apologize. I live in New Jersey, so would you guys be helping with the field placement, or how would that work?
Yeah, so we do help with field placement. We have students across the nation. So typically, if you are in a place that I think we have one site in New Jersey right now, that is a vocational evaluation site. But if not, we would look at, you would schedule a meeting with me and we'd look at what your career goals are, and then try to find stuff local in your area that would allow you to do that. We also do with practicum, I have a couple of completely virtual sites that it doesn't matter where you live, they will accept you as a site. So those are also opportunities as well. So I definitely can help do site placements across the nation.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, I worked with the population for 20 years now. But I am an employment specialist through a vendor that works with the Department of Vocational Rehabilitation. So, what would that count for supervision? Are you more looking supervision with the placement?
Yeah, so definitely your job sounds like it would qualify. What we would do with that is have you take on a couple extra responsibilities to have more of the either vocational evaluation or case management, career counseling type roles, depending on what your site offers, and what your agency offers. I would just need to look more specifically. So it's working with your supervisor to, you can still count some of your typical job, but we do want to have a couple extra responsibilities added of the more counseling components, rehab counseling components.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I do have one more, maybe a comment, but what I have noticed is when I work with people with disabilities, for instance, especially for children, for instance, who suffered TBI, very often I see that their family actually is dealing with a lot of problems too. They don't necessarily have disabilities themselves, but they are struggling with coping, like because they never had a child with disability before, right? And now they all of a sudden they have to learn. And so in a sense, it becomes a family issue, not just an individual issue, right?
That's right.
So we have individuals with disability, and then we have families who don't necessarily have. Do we have the opportunity to gain skill set to work with not just the individual with disability, but their support systems, right? Who may be just as traumatized, if not more sometimes, right? So I'm just curious about that.
So our program, we don't specifically teach family and couples counseling skills. We do touch on it in some of our classes and about the adaptation to disability as a family structure. In that rehab concepts class, that is one of the main topics for one of your weeks. And it's sprinkled throughout about that disability impacts the whole support system. So you do have the opportunities to learn that. And then at sites, if the site does provide services that extends beyond the family, a lot of times we see, you know, even though the person with the disability, the child with the disability is your client, they'll still bring their parents in and you're still providing some sort of services, even if they aren't directly your client. So we do touch on it again in practicum and internships as well, and how to navigate, still serving the child as your primary client, but then also including the support systems. But specifically, family therapy is not a focus of our program, but we do incorporate it in the adjustment to disability process and coping with the disability process.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Leah, but it's more about helping the family advocate or navigate advocacy for their
Yes.
child with a disability.
Yes. Yes. But we do touch on like the adjustment process and the stages of close to the stages of grief and adjustment in our classes, but we don't specifically teach family therapy in the program.
Got it. Thank you very much. That's very helpful.
All right, Sarah.
Hi, sorry. Yes. How long is this program? Is it 2 years or less?
It's 2 years if you go full time, and it's 2 years plus one semester if your aim is to also become a licensed mental health professional.
2 years plus what? If you want to be a what?
If you want to become licensed as a mental health counselor, then
Oh, okay.
it will be 2 years plus one additional fall or spring semester. Uh,
Got it.
if your focus is in rehabilitation counseling, it is a 2-year program if you're attending full time.
Okay, perfect.
And that's
Thank you.
also for full-time. So that would be taking 3 to 4 classes a semester. And if you choose to go part-time, that's 2 classes except for internship, is you only take internship, but all the other semesters would have only 2 classes, and that extends it to a 4-year program if you
Okay,
choose part-time.
got it. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions?
May I?
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah, I was lost during the conversation. I'm sorry, my internet. Can you hear me?
We
Yes.
can.
Yeah. My name is Orianthi. Most of my question was answered. So actually I had questions, but for example, I was going to ask about, I'm interested about your program completely, but I was also wanted to know if a mental health counselor certification was possible or needed additional requests for courses, but you explained already that you can do that. It's in the
Mhm.
program. Uh, and also, may I also ask a question? May I also have a national and international certification of RCD? R,
S-
of the program?
So
Uh, I'm
yeah,
sorry,
so
I'm calling wrong. RCD, yeah.
yeah. So the certification is that you would be aimed at achieving while in the program is the CRC, and
CRC.
that would qualify you to
CS,
be a
sorry.
certified rehabilitation counselor. That is, as far as I'm aware, that is a national certification.
Mhm.
And it is recognized nationally. There's nothing different regardless of the state that you live in, but I'm not aware of it being
Yeah.
recognized
Okay.
internationally.
Because I
That,
feel like a little bit old, so I would like when I am retiring to be able to go to have bigger plans in my mind at least. So I
absolutely,
would like to be volunteering besides be professional in my I'm close to that
sure,
age. So I'm going to be able if I can do that. I mean I'm it's enough for me to be national just to know if I can dream more.
sure.
Can that
And,
be the national cognition
yes,
in the
and
future?
yes, and so just to be clear with the mental health licensure and the certification that comes along with that, that is not something that you would achieve during the program. And it's, to my knowledge, to become licensed as a mental health counselor, irregardless of the state, it requires additional work as an intern outside of the program. And so
Okay.
once you completed this program, you would apply to become a registered intern with your state and then complete the requirements that they have for becoming a licensed mental health counselor. That, to my knowledge, I,
2 years?
as far as international recognition, you would want that it has no
Yeah.
international recognition as
Okay.
far as that type
Okay.
of licensure. But if you want to reach out to the licensing body
Mhm.
in the location that you're potentially moving to in the future and things like that, and ask them specifics, we may be able to help you navigate whether or not this program
Mm,
is right for you and whether or
mm,
not it would meet those requirements.
okay.
And also, sharing our plan of study with that accrediting body or licensing body may also help navigate that
Okay.
as well.
I'm in Florida. I'm not going to move, but just to know
Yeah, it's a great
if it's
question.
possible. No, it's not. But I wanted to ask for if I can help more because I believe this is more for advocacy, right? The whole program,
The
right?
program is very,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
much focused on advocacy. Yes.
So that's the other question. And plus, you said 1 semester also for mental health counselor. And how long? It's 2 years more in order to complete the, I don't know, for
It's,
the
it's the,
for the hours of mental health counselor licensing. It's
it would
like
just be
2
one
more
additional, just one
also
additional
on,
semester.
and you can have the exam also, right?
Oh, no.
So,
Yep.
yeah, sorry.
No,
So
you're
there's
good. You got it.
difference. In our program, to become eligible to start the process of state licensure, it's an additional semester. That's to get the internship hours.
Yeah.
Once you graduate from that additional semester, then we can endorse you with the state to become a registered intern. Now, in the state of
Okay.
Florida, and every state is different on their licensed professional counselors or LMHCs. They are called different for states. For Florida specifically, it requires that you graduate from a K-CORP accredited program, which you will, that you have the 600 hours in a mental health site, which you will, which is why there's an additional internship. And
Okay.
then you'll be able to register with the state board to become a registered intern, is what they call them right now. Now,
Okay.
yes, that is another 2-year
2
process
years.
as a
Okay.
registered intern. Now you're
Okay.
working and getting paid in the field and you're under supervision by a qualified practitioner. So you have 2 years to finish your supervision hours, which is 1,500 client contact hours and an hour of supervision for every 15 hours. So it's 100 hours of supervision, 1,500 client contact hours. And then from there, you would be able to sit for the NCMHCE is the exam that we take in Florida. So that's the licensing exam. You'd be able to sit anytime during that 2 years. Once you pass it, you get your hours and your supervisor signs off. Then you can apply for licensure as an LMHC.
Okay. Great. Very understandable. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. That was from me. Thank you.
I see we have another question.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Very short. With all that in mind, with the mental health counseling aspect, if I were more interested in the disability, the whole program that, what it really relates to, all that extra 2 years and all that would go away. I would be a certified disability counselor with the program, with, of course, my field hours. And that would be the 2 years plus, the testing and all that. So
Sure.
when we were talking about the addition of the mental health counselor, I just wanted to make sure with this program, wanting to be in the disability counselor field, that the 2 years would be adequate to get out there and be certified and do that kind of work.
It is. It is.
Okay,
And
excellent.
so,
Thank you.
yes. And so once you have completed your coursework and
Yes.
successfully passed the CRC exam,
Yes.
you will be
Yes.
recognized as a certified rehabilitation counselor, and you can find any job that you wish to pursue as a
Yes.
CRC at that point.
Yes.
Nothing further is needed other
Yep.
than continue CEUs.
Oh,
Every
yes.
5 years you
Yes.
have to have 100 CEUs, but that'll be outside of
Absolutely.
the program. That would be on your
Yes.
own time for sure.
Excellent. Thank you. I just
Absolutely.
wanted to just verify that. Thanks.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And it doesn't look like anybody else's hand is raised, and we are getting close to time. So I do want to go ahead and wrap this up by saying thank you all for your time and for your great
Thank you.
questions. We appreciate it. If you have any questions after this, email us. If you'd like to set up a time for a one-on-one meeting, we are available for that. We would be happy to do that. And once again, thank you for your time. It was very nice getting to see you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.